Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Oh, God. Oh, dear, not a good start. Not a good start. There we go. No voice. Don't know why my voice has been like that. Oh, God. And this light is right in my eye. Jesus. Go back a little bit. My God. What's going on today? The things do not seem right here, guys. Things do not seem right here. How you guys doing? Welcome to Reganelite's Watch Along, episode 85 here. We watch and react to certain clips and videos online. I'm probably going to keep it at about an hour. I'm not going to go longer than that, guys, simply because got a really bad migraine. I've taken some ibuprofen, drank a ton of water and whatnot. So, but we'll see how it goes. We're probably just going to focus on the... I've got plenty of topics here, but we'll see how things go here, guys. We're going to be covering more on ice in America. We'll talk a little bit about Greenland. And I think mainly most of the topics are pretty much America. I don't really have anything... I do have one or two bits from the UK, but nothing really that wasn't really like... A lot of the main topics of discussions were stuff from Prime Minister's questions. Was the only thing really that's really kind of big news. I mean, obviously there was I don't have it here, but there was a Green councillor who switched to Reform apparently. That's about the that's about really I've got really in terms of the UK. I mean, and there's just some additional stuff from Prime Minister's questions. So I don't have really too much. I don't really have any UK news specific today. For this live stream, guys. So if that's something that you want, unfortunately, I don't have it to have that much today. I really want to focus on what's been happening in America, guys, and to really reinforce the current situation there. Let me just say hello to people in the chat. Martin, good evening to you. Cancer Kev, good evening to you. David Geddes says, glad I don't have to play that crap elevator music before my kickoff. Lol. Oh, you're not a fan of elevators, David Geddes. You don't like being in an elevator. Look, whatever music I put on, someone somewhere is always going to complain. Like I can't I've had Mad Monk complain about music. I've had other people complain about music, and that you're not happy with the elevator music. I'm like, I just, you know that saying that you just can't please everyone, you know. Evening, Mel. Good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Joe, good to see you there. One of our moderators as well, and anybody else who's lurking in the chats there. Like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to go. I might even go less than an hour, just because I'm not feeling great, guys. I do apologize. I know I just feel a bit I feel a bit exhausted today. I don't know if it's the weather. I mean I felt like I've drank plenty of fluids and whatnot, but I was trying to get a lot of I was trying to get some wrestling content done today, as well as getting the usual bits done, and I still got some wrestling content to get done. So oh yeah, sorry Mel. Yep, the ducky's here. Yep. I need to show that as well to you. Yeah, of course. There. Apologies. I'm probably not going to be as professional as I normally am. Well, at least try to be to some extent, anyway. Right, let's get started here. So I want to start going right into ice, guys. Things with regards to them are getting much worse, and whilst the situation is getting pretty gruesome, I'm literally going to take you right into some really horrific things. You're going to see something that's really uncomfortable, guys. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because this can happen in the UK. What you're going to see is something that can definitely happen here in the UK. This was tweeted out a few days ago. This happened a few days ago. But it's literally like ICE now literally are just taking anyone and everyone, anyone that they feel like they want to take. So just word of warning, you may find this uncomfortable, okay? So this says, ICE grabbed a 17-year-old Target worker at his job. Despite him saying he is a US citizen, after confirming he was, they dumped him at a Walmart lot 8 minutes away. Bystanders found him sobbing and bleeding. They slammed me on the ground. So because he does, like, it's gotten to a point, well, it already reached that point, but they don't care if you're a US citizen or not. They're going to grab you if you're not a white American, if you're not white, basically. That's exactly what this is. And like I said, it's gonna be uncomfortable what you're seeing. So this is the Target store, and you're gonna see literally the guy being picked up and being taken away, guys.
Hey, what you doing? Hey! Fuck you! Hey, my guys! Fuck you!
You guys are all on video.
No, take my phone. Hey, they got my phone.
Where is the paperwork for that?
Where's the...
There is no paperwork. They don't follow the law.
On Target. They do it on Target.
A Target. Like, how are businesses... Like, here's the thing as well, right? Just think about how many non-US citizens, or how many black and brown people, or Latinos, working in companies in the US. How many of them you think are gonna think about going to work tomorrow? How many of them do you think actually are going to go into work and think, do I really want to go into work knowing that I could get nabbed by ICE, even though I'm a US citizen? This could be me next. This could be me.
Hey, don't! Stand up.
Where are their boys?
Hey, fucking worker!
Anybody else going to ask where the fuck the wars are? You guys don't have the right.
What's your name? What's your name? Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm literally a U.S. citizen.
Give us a
I'm
phone
literally a
number.
U.S. citizen.
Get the fuck out of here, Ace.
Why are you kidnapping our citizens?
There!
Why are you? Why?
Sir, give us your phone number. We'll call your family. Give us your phone number.
You should have called his family. At least call his family. You want your family to know?
I literally have my passport. My fucking passport.
Let him get out his passport. Let him
What's your name? What's your name? We'll find your family. Christian, what's your last name?
What?
get out his passport.
Hey! Get back there now!
Give us what's the phone number we should call?
That's my mom.
That's your mom. We'll
Yeah.
call you. And your first name's Christian, right?
We'll call them.
This is just it's just so it's just so heartbreaking. It's so many emotions going through this and the thing that really angers me is that there's such a lack of accountability for these agents. They have not been getting any proper training. They are picking up literally anyone. And I'm going to show you, and I'll give you an example of the kind of how easy it is to get a job at ICE. It's absolutely insane. It really is. And like if I'm seriously, if I'm a black, if I'm a brown, if I'm Latino, if I'm an American, even if as an American citizen, I'd be fucking terrified to be living in America right now. And I said, and I hate to bring this up, but I warned people. I said that if I said to people like to get out while you still can, and now people are getting rounded up. Now, granted, yes, these people did get released late. They get dumped later on when they found out they're actually American citizens. But that's not the point. It's the whole experience that they go through. And it's not like the people responsible here. It's not like any of them are going to face any accountability right now. They're not going to face any accountability at all. That's the thing that angers me the most. And Congress is not acting on this. They're sticking by Trump administration and supporting ICE. The Senate is not acting on this. The courts are going to have the courts, no matter how much we've put the courts and the books and whatnot. It feels like, yeah, there's no power whatsoever in American citizens. And a part of me feels like that this is a desperate attempt by the Trump administration to force some kind of insurrection, to force people to rise up against ICE, because that's what they want. Donald Trump wants a reason to enable the Insurrection Act. He wants a reason to cancel the midterms. He wants a reason for that. And this is one of his ways of doing that, is to cause enough anger that people will rise up and attack these agents, go after them and hurt them and all this kind of stuff. They want them to be violent because it then gives fuel for Donald Trump to basically say our country is in chaos. These radical lefts are going out of control. I can't have elections while these people are in charge. I'm issuing the Insurrection Act. He wants an excuse to cancel the midterms. That's why they're riling this up as well. It's not just about rounding up people. They want people to get angry. They want people to get violent. I generally think they're trying to do that. This is a rerun of the 1930s Germany. Even Joe Rogan has
once someone is here,
even Joe Rogan has doubts about all this, believe it or not, as well.
Once someone is here, they should be able to stay in this country, and ICE is operating illegally, and we shouldn't have militarized groups of people roaming the streets, just showing up with masks on, snatching people up, some of them U.S. citizens, and shipping them to countries they didn't even come from. So that's why they have to wear a mask. If you want them to do that job, if you want them to be able to deport 500,000 people over a year, which is a lot of people, if that's the real number, they're going to be, their life's going to be at stake. Yep. You're not going to be able to get people to do the job unless you allow them to be anonymous. And then, again, allowing them to be anonymous creates a whole host of other problems where you could have people pretend to be them. And how would you know who's who and who's not?
Well, in other clips, he has criticised this as well. And he's obviously one of the most influential people on the right when it comes to that stuff as well. And him, obviously, comparing ICE to Gestapo police in Nazi Germany says a lot. It's quite powerful, really, really powerful there. I want to share another really heartbreaking story here. Patty O'Keefe said that she was held in federal detention center for 8 hours after she and her friend were stopped while following ICE agents in Minneapolis on Sunday. O'Keefe said their car was pepper sprayed and the windows were smashed by federal agents. They are allowed to follow ICE agents. They are allowed to follow them. There's nothing saying that they're not allowed to, but they did this anyway. No, the ICE agents are doing this with no accountability whatsoever. Like, some people are told to follow them, and this is now some of the consequences if some people try to do this now.
From my cell, I could hear like wailing and desperate crying of people in the facility.
Patty O'Keefe says she and a friend were following ICE agents on Sunday. When they were stopped, their car pepper sprayed and their windows smashed.
You are under arrest for inducing operation.
Before being taken to a federal detention center.
3 ICE agents that were in the car with me immediately started taunting me. The driver of the car said, you guys got to stop obstructing us. That's why that lesbian is dead.
O'Keefe says she was held for 8 hours before being released without charges.
What do you say to people who feel like these agents are doing what they need to do, they're following the law, and you and other protesters are on the wrong side of history?
The law is not always the best barometer of what is moral and just.
We asked DHS for comment on O'Keefe's detention and accusations, but have not heard back. Today marks 1 week since Renee Good was killed here. And when we asked O'Keefe if she'd continue protesting, she said that she knows that there's risks, but that it is, quote, worth it. It
is. It's very dangerous indeed. And on another day, something worse could have happened to them. And the people who work at ICE, a lot of them, they don't care about the law. They're literal criminals. They are literally criminals. They are literally criminals. They're thugs, mindless thugs. at this point. It's just beyond insane here. They are Border Patrol. They have no formal authority to do this, but they do it because Congress is weak and under Republican control. Yeah, they're not doing anything. They're just not doing anything at all. Mike Johnson was asked today about this. This is what he said. This is what he was asked here about whether or not if he opposes adding additional guardrails for accountability for ICE after the killing of Renee Good. So this is what Mike Johnson has to say. Would you normally get this kind of language from Republicans either way, to be fair?
Mr. Speaker,
the president is meeting tomorrow with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Machado. Do you have any plans to meet with her as well?
I don't. It's not. I don't think it's on the schedule. I haven't looked ahead in my defense, but I think I believe our Hispanic caucus is hosting her and maybe some other members, so I'm not sure.
Mr. Speaker, a lot of Democrats are saying that they want to add riders or oversight to ICE funding in the Homeland Security bill. What are your thoughts about doing that?
I think there's a lot of Democrats playing games right now with national security and with law enforcement.
The only ones who are playing games with national security is your party and the way that you are allowing ICE to do what they are doing. It's in particular in Minnesota right now.
And I think it's dangerous. ICE is doing what ICE is designed to do by its very name. It's immigration and customs enforcement. They are enforcing federal law. They're going and getting dangerous criminals, sometimes in sanctuary cities where they get too much resistance. And we've seen the tragic consequences and effects of that. So I don't think we need to be cutting funding right now. I think the American people want the law to be enforced, and I think we need to let law enforcement do its job.
He didn't even say funding should be cut, even though funding should be cut for it. We all agree that the funding should be cut. Nobody's saying that the funding should be cut for ICE because they have way too much money. But what he's saying is that there should be additional guardrails. But obviously he's not going to say that, is he? Here he is again, speaking to Fox News here. ICE has to go out and do its jobs. There's a lot of spin on the Democratic side. It's not spin. They're assaulting our law enforcement officers. The only ones who are being assaulted is American citizens, and they're breaking the law. They need to get out of the way and allow federal law enforcement to do its duty. Oh, so rounding up random people who are without because they don't carry their paperwork, rounding them up, yeah, and that is perfectly okay, yeah.
To get to on ICE, that's the story out of Minnesota. We've been covering it 24/7 as everybody else has, in print and here on cable. Democrats wanted to fund ICE. Can they do that?
No, they can't, because Republicans control Congress. This is no time to be playing games with national security and public safety, and that's what Democrats are doing, beating the drums up here. Remember what ICE stands for. It's Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are enforcing the law. They are apprehending the dangerous criminals who were allowed into our country because Joe Biden kept the border wide open for 4 years. An estimated more than 20 million people came in. Many of them are a great danger to our community. A lot of them have collected in cities like Minneapolis. These sanctuary cities, they're all there, and so ICE has to go and do its job. There's a lot of spin on the Democrat side. They're assaulting our law enforcement officers, and they're breaking the law. They need to get out of the way and allow federal law enforcement to do its duty. That serves all the American people.
It's not serving the American people. It's absolutely insane. It's just absolutely insane. This lot. I wish Grinder Johnson got gotten by ICE. Yeah, I always say I always say this, yeah, to these Republicans. Just imagine putting yourself imagine if it was one of them. Imagine it was one of their friends or colleagues or whatnot that they found out got picked up and rounded by ICE. Just if it was somebody that they knew, just how they would feel about it. It's absolutely insane. Okay, Christy Noam, can we have examples of attacks against ICE ghouls? Yeah, that's a good point as well. He's so slimy. He is, Vicky. Good to see you there, and Ellie, and anybody else lurking in the chats. So here's the bit where he makes a comparison to Gestapo, Joe Rogan there, but Tricia McCallaghan from the DHS there, obviously, on there defending what ICE are doing here.
Here. Joe Rogan, he's got questions about what's happening, and it's probably echoing what many people are thinking, so let's listen to him and get your reaction.
I see the perspective of the people that say, hey, there was an illegal program moving people in here to get votes, moving people in here to get congressional seats, and we've got to change that. I can also see the point of view of the people that say, yeah, but you don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers? Is that what we've come to?
So I know you and I talk a lot about communications and PR, and how would the department respond to that concern that he raised?
Well, this
Because they don't give a shit. Their response is they don't give a shit.
answer is very straightforward. If Tim Walz, if Mayor Fry would let us in their jails, we wouldn't have to be there at all. Currently, there are 680 criminal illegal aliens. Dana, that includes murderers, that includes rapists, child pedophiles, people who, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you would never want these people to be on your streets or your neighbors. That's the people who we are targeting, and we are trying to get out of Minneapolis.
Obviously, obviously she's lying here, because actually Minneapolis actually has a very low crime rate as a state. It actually has one of the lowest crime rates, and obviously they want to do more to reduce that. But it's actually the only thing that's caused disruption in Minneapolis has been the arrival of ICE agents. That's what, you know. Then the people who know it better are those who run it.
Because we don't have state and local law enforcement's help, we do have to have a physical presence on the ground there. And I know in the interview as well, and what Joe Rogan just mentioned is the rampant crime we found, more than $9 billion. And
There isn't rampant crime. The statistics don't match what you're saying. They just don't. And this is them basically threatening that if they want to continue federal funding in the state and the city, citizens need to start protecting their citizens and their constituents. Well, I'm not even going to bother playing this one, because literally, like, your agents murdered a U.S. citizen. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to just take, you know, they talk about protecting them. Like, yeah, it's just absolutely infuriating here. This one here from Representative Angie Craig. In my district, 2 days ago, a special ed teacher who pulled up into the school parking lot. Her windows were smashed. She was taken and detained for 12 hours. I've never seen such an out-of-control agency.
We have seen an increase in clashes involving federal agents deployed to Minnesota since Renee Good's death. Protesters pinned to the ground, aggressive arrest scenes, tear gas.
Look at this. This is since her death. Instead of backing off and letting things calm down, they've ramped up the officers, as we talked about this morning. I think Viper Scott said 2,000 or so ICE agents are now deployed in the state.
Being deployed, there's this moment, agents smashing car windows before dragging people from their vehicles to arrest them. DHS says the people in this car were stalking and obstructing ICE law enforcement.
We've seen that one already.
Minnesota, we know, isn't that far from America's northern border, but Congresswoman, have you ever seen immigration enforcement like this before in your home state?
I don't think any city in America or any state in America has ever seen this type of lawless behavior by federal law enforcement. I'm hearing some of the same stories in my congressional district. 2 days ago, a special education teacher who pulled up into her school parking lot. Her windows were smashed. She was taken and she was detained for 12 hours. We are hearing reports of schools where immigrant communities are refusing to come to school, whether they're citizens or not, because they are afraid of masked ICE agents coming into our schools and taking them away from their families. And every American should be outraged. Every Minnesotan should be outraged. And at the same time, we should continue to peacefully protest what's happening. My colleagues Ilhan Omar and Kelly Morrison from Minnesota on Saturday morning attempted to perform our congressional duties to inspect a federal building, the Whipple building in Minneapolis. And we were met by armed ICE agents. A handful of protesters were there. And while we were there, ICE agents pepper sprayed both those protesters as well as the press. I've never seen such an out of control agency. And that's why as soon as I leave all of you here today, I'm going to be joining a group of members of Congress to file articles of impeachment against Kristi Noem. She's lawless and she's violating the law. We can't have this in America.
Whether they'll actually impeach her, I don't know. Whether they go that far is another thing there. I honestly don't know on that. Ellie says, have you seen Kristi Noem interview? Are we seeing the same footage? I don't know who Kristi Noem is, Ellie, so I can't answer that respectfully. I don't know who that is. These poor people are fodder pawns for a rich man's game. Where is the education, humanity, empathy, and respect? The loonies really have taken over the asylum. Yeah, this is what happens when you give people. This is what happens when you give them complete and total out of control stuff. We're going to come to eventually. I'm going to come to a footage of where somebody, a reporter, unintentionally got an offer for ICE, which is an insane one as well.
What else can Congress do to rein in ICE and the behaviors that you're seeing? I know there's this funding deadline coming up. What kinds of conversations are you having with your colleagues?
Well, there's no way in hell I'm voting to give 1 cent to Trump and Kristi Noem's ICE. I won't send 1 penny to these people who are terrorizing the people of Minnesota. We also should pass a bill that will prevent them from going onto schools, into churches, into daycares. The places that they are choosing to terrorize Minnesotans and Americans is truly just so disturbing and disgusting.
They are literally trying to destabilize Minnesota, is what they are trying to do. They're trying to destabilize the state. Like they're going far worse here than they did when they tried to do Chicago, and they backed off. They hit hard in LA, but they didn't go this far in LA. They were problematic in LA, but they didn't go this far. They're going way above and beyond what they've been doing last year. They're going into new levels of heights here.
It's almost unbelievable if we weren't witnessing with our own eyes.
Counter Kev is absolutely right. Impeaching Noem will make no difference. Under this Trump administration, yes. But under a Democratic one, that'll be a different story. But that's all hypotheticals as of right now.
ICE agents should wear body cameras. Body cameras are worn by law enforcement in Minnesota. They should walk into these situations trying to de-escalate, not escalate the situation, which is, of course, with our own
Angie Cray is a representative of Minnesota, Vicky.
eyes, we could see what happened in the killing of Renee Good.
Just yes or no, do you think Congress should shut down the government over ICE and DHS funding to make a statement?
The answer to that is it won't make a difference. Because even during the last government shutdown that they had, they still made sure that ICE were getting funded. And shutting down the government will not stop the funding going into ICE. They will make sure that funding goes through, one way or another. They will make sure of it.
Look, I'm not in the room with leadership, but what I can tell you, what is happening in America, the path that we are traveling certainly reminds me of many of the images that we saw in the 1930s in Germany. And we should stand up to this lawless administration. And right now, nothing should be off the table.
Congresswoman.
Yeah, nothing should be off the table here. Where is it? This is the clip I wanted to show you guys. Just Holman here saying, we are arresting illegal aliens with no criminal history. Are we arresting illegal aliens with no criminal history? We absolutely are. This is literally the Trump administration confirming that, yeah, we're gonna round up anyone, even if they've got no criminal history and they've done nothing wrong. We're still gonna round you up.
They need to know we're going to keep doing this job because we're arresting the worst of the worst. And are we arresting illegal aliens with no criminal history? We absolutely are. If we find them looking for these targets, they're going to be arrested. If the mayor
because
and the
they are here illegally.
If they want less of us in the street, then let us in the damn jail where we can arrest a public safety threat and the safety and security of the jail. You release them in the street, that forces us into the street to do this.
They would, even if, like, hypothetically, even if the Minnesota state, the Democratic state, and them running it, even if they let them in the jails, they still carry on doing what they were doing. They would still carry on doing what they're doing here. Here he is. More of him here going on about it here. This was him earlier today as well. In Minneapolis, we're seeing images are like a woman who was dragged out of their car by federal agents. There are Americans who see that and say this looks like Putin's Russia. And he dismisses it as ridiculous, despite the fact that there's literal footage out there that we just saw of it.
When it comes to Minneapolis, we're seeing images like...
Oh, sorry, 1 second, guys. Oh, 1 second.
When it comes to Minneapolis, we're seeing images like yesterday of a woman who was stopped by federal agents. She was dragged out of her car. I know DHS always has a response to this as to why they're acting that way. There are Americans who see this and say this looks like Putin's Russia. What is your
That's
response?
ridiculous. You know what? In Minneapolis, let's remember who set the stage here. First of all, the Biden administration let millions of people release millions of illegal aliens in this country in violation of the law.
He was actually reducing immigration under his watch. But obviously, like you're talking about an administration that was in power more than a year ago now. Come on, this is the thing. They're still blaming Biden for all their problems. Still blaming Joe Biden. Still blaming Biden.
Many of them criminals because they weren't properly vetted. We're arresting thousands of them. So first of all, they created the problem with millions of illegal alien criminals in this country. Second of all, Minneapolis, they're a sanctuary city. You know, if they let us in their damn jail and stop being a sanctuary city, we could arrest the bad guy in the safety and security of a jail. But because they normally release them, now we got to go in the community and find them. Then they're mad we're in the community. President Trump made us promise to American people we're going to find these criminals and make America safe again. So if they don't let us in a jail, we're going to go in the community. And the difference is, in places that's not a sanctuary, one agent can walk into a jail and arrest one criminal illegal alien. But when you release them in the community, now we got to send the whole team because we got to arrest somebody on their turf. They have access, who knows what weapons. It makes it.
This is absolute bollocks. This is nothing but bollocks whatsoever. This is nothing but bollocks. It's all this is. It's absolute nothing but bollocks from him on this. Really, really is. I just can't. I can't stress enough just how much nonsense that is coming out of the guy's mouth. It's just so infuriating. It absolutely is. I want to take you to the story about the journalist who described her experience of applying for ICE. Yes, so this is going to be quite interesting here, guys. Here from Laura Jadid on applying for a job with ICE. I expected them to Google me, and they didn't. They sent me a final job offer. What's disturbing is we don't know who is wearing these masks with guns in our city. We don't know if they have domestic violence convictions. This literally proves, this video here is living proof of how much they go. This is like applying to be it's like being a Reform member. Or, you know, it's like trying to be a part of Reform UK, guys. Like, there's very little background checks on you. And that's exactly what it is for being in ICE in the US, guys. This is insane.
So ultimately, when you heard back from them, what was it?
So I missed the initial email because I wasn't expecting it. Again, I expected them to Google me, and they didn't. A few days later, they sent a tentative job offer. And with that tentative job offer, they sent a bunch of paperwork that I would need to fill out for consideration. I would need to accept the tentative job offer. I needed to fill out paperwork saying I'd never been convicted of domestic violence. I needed to fill out paperwork for background check information. I needed to sign an affidavit that I could pass a PT test, all of this stuff. None of which I did because I didn't see it. And yet, apparently the application advanced anyway, because a couple weeks later, I got an email from LabCorp saying, hey, come and take a drug test for ICE. And I was pretty sure that wasn't going to work out well. Cannabis is legal in New York State, and I had partaken of it 6 days before their test date. But, you know, why not? I went ahead and took the test anyway. And then 9 days after I took that test, because they're supposed to call you when you fail. So I was curious, like, did I somehow pass this test? So I logged into the ICE hiring portal and was shocked to find that the ICE hiring portal listed me as having a final offer, as having accepted that final offer, and as having a start date of September 30th, which was 3 days before I checked the portal.
So she meant you have to get a drug test to verify, right, that you're not a druggie or whatever, right? And she's someone that regularly takes cannabis? Like, my God, like, they're like, oh, okay, this person smokes weed. Is that okay? Yeah, just get her through. We need everybody. We need anybody. So the story is as well, is that, they're getting desperate for recruits. They're getting desperate. And, it looks like in some cases, they're looking to try and get some people on for volunteering as well. Like, that's how crazy the level is going to be here. But yeah, despite the fact that she literally took drugs not too long ago before taking the test, guys. It's insane. And this is a journalist who doesn't like ICE.
Okay, so that's different than what DHS says when they posted just now a response to your story on X. And they wrote this, quote, applicants may receive a tentative selection letter following their initial application and interview that is not a job offer. It just means they are invited to submit information for review. But what you're saying is, even though you ignored it, they were ready to hire you with a start date?
Well, I don't know if she has or not, but I would have assumed here, like, you would just screenshot. Like, as a journalist, if I'm in this situation, I would be screenshotting everything and then redacting all the personal details and then putting that on X saying, look, this is my proof here. Or highlight your name, because people know your name anyway as a journalist, and say, here it is. Here's the confirmation of the job offer from ICE. Like, this is it. This is the proof that they offered me the job offer. And this would just make them look even more stupid.
Whole thing?
Yep. No, this is, and I went ahead and quote tweeted and replied with a video of a screen capture of what I saw when I logged into that ICE portal. What I saw was a final job offer, a start date, and a little thing that said, welcome to ICE. They can try to hide this all they want, but this was not a tentative selection letter. This was a final offer and a start date for a role as a deportation officer. And it's very funny that they hired a journalist who openly despises their program. That's funny, but what's disturbing is we don't know how many other people this happened to. It seems unlikely that it was just me. We don't know who's wearing these masks with guns in our city. We don't know if they have domestic violence convictions. We don't know if the people who are manning deportation detention centers, have been convicted of sex crimes or crimes against children. These are people that will neither be believed nor missed. I mean, the more you think about it, the worse it gets.
This is the thing. Like, any of these having background, like, if they're not doing any background checks, these could be convicted killers, convicted murderers, convicted child rapists, whatnot. These could be some of the most vile people. Some of the most vile people working for ICE. That's the scary part here. Yeah, I would. Yeah, well, okay. It's not a chart. So now it's natural. Okay, fine. That's fine. You can put it that way, David. It's not a drug. It's a natural plant that to be CDA and CDB is a natural product, which are used in medicine and perfumes. Yep. Okay. My point is obviously that you would have thought that someone who regularly takes cannabis, they would not have passed the test here. But the point of the video, and I'm sure you get it, and everybody else gets it in the chat here, is that anyone can be an ICE officer, an ICE agent, and it doesn't matter if you have criminal convictions or not. That's the insane thing. And, you know, how many of them do you think are Proud Boys? How many do you think are KKK representatives of the KKK? How many of you think, are really, like, crackheads off their pot. There's even been stories. I haven't. There's even been video out there. I don't have it here, but there's been footage of them, you know, having a laugh and all that kind of stuff. We saw about obviously the death that happened last week. They're laughing about it. They're having a joke about it. They know that right now they can get away with anything with impunity because they know the government, the state will protect them from anything. It's so insane. Dopey smoking weed. You got transport. You're in. It's a commercial base. Yeah, it's just the levels are just out of this world, guys. It's just out of this world. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I just don't know how this is going to end, guys. But it's just not going to be good at all. It's just not going to be good at all. So let's touch on Greenland. In fact, I'm not going to play all the footage from Greenland. Actually, I had quite a few different ones, but I'm just going to play maybe one or two here. So this was about an hour ago here. The Danish foreign minister has said that there is still a fundamental disagreement with the US over Greenland following talks at the White House. He adds the president has made his views clear and we have a different position. So I still don't know, and I don't think that... I know you are, David. I know you are. I know you are. I know where you're coming from. It's all good, it's all good, my friend. It's all good. And bear in mind, guys, I'm not feeling 100% today anyway. So I'm losing my train of thought now. Do I think the US is going to take Greenland by military force? No. I think they're going to try using any and all other tactics to try and acquire Greenland at the moment. Donald Trump won't stop going on about it. And they're being told quite clearly that they can't have Greenland. But let's just hear from their perspective after the talks that they've had here.
Under the 1951 defense agreement, the US can always ask for increasing its presence in Greenland. And therefore, we wish to hear if the US had any further requests to make in this aspect. We would examine any such request constructively. Greenland is, through the Kingdom of Denmark, a member of NATO and has been that since the very founding of NATO in 1949 and is therefore also covered by Article 5. We have been pushing for quite a while in NATO for a stronger collective role in Greenland together with a number of allies, and we are eager to work with the US on advancing this agenda, and we are prepared to go further. Therefore, our aim was to find a common understanding on all these points and to launch, if possible, further in-depth work to deliver on them. On this basis, we had what I will describe as a frank but also constructive discussion. The discussions focused on how to ensure the long-term security in Greenland. And here our perspectives continue to differ, I must say. The President has made his view clear, and we have a different position. We, the Kingdom of Denmark, continue to believe that also the long-term security of Greenland can be ensured inside the current framework, the 1951 agreement on the defense of Greenland, as well as the NATO treaty. For us, ideas that would not respect territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark and the right of self-determination of the Greenlandic people are, of course, totally unacceptable. And we therefore still have a fundamental disagreement, but we also agree to disagree. And therefore we will, however, continue to talk. We have decided to form a high-level working group to explore if we can find a common way forward. The group, in our view, should focus on how to address the American security concerns, while at the same time respecting the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark. We expect that such a group will meet for a first time within a matter of weeks.
the problem is that the America just wants the land. They keep saying it's national security, national security, national security, and I've said this, and you guys know this in the chat already. Most of you who are regulars here, but we know that he just wants the land for itself. He does. It's not about national security. It's not about, oh, you better give it to us before China and Russia come. China and Russia are not coming for Greenland. Okay, there's been no indications whatsoever. They're not coming for Greenland. They may have submarines around. They may have some ships and a few submarines around the island. It's perfectly possible. Given where Russia is geography-wise, it makes logical sense. Not sure about China personally, but given where Russia is, that makes logical sense because of where they are geography-wise on the planet. But there's no Russian bases on there. There's no Chinese bases on there. There are American bases on there. And we've stated this before and we stated this again. The United States have reduced their troop numbers on Greenland. They've chosen to reduce the troop numbers on there. So I'm seeing from some of you guys are saying that European countries are looking to deploy troops in Greenland, perhaps like deploying... Counter Kev says, France, Germany, UK, Denmark, etc. need to get their skates in redeployment in Greenland. Jao says the US is going to get kicked out of NATO eventually. Jao also says France and Germany are going to deploy troops in Greenland, and for now, France has announced they're going to build a consulate there. So that'll be interesting there as well. It's like it's like saying to Europe, okay, well you guys put troops there, and it's just like, is that what America's implying? Like, they're saying we can take care of Greenland, give us Greenland. And it's like they don't want to be part of America. That's like, well, we need it for national security. No, you don't need it for national security. Like, if you want to protect it for national security, fine, put more troops there. You know, want to build another military base? Go on, build another military base on the island, like for national security. But you're not having the land. Like, you don't need the land. They also asked a question from a reporter here as well. One of the reporters asking, what did the Trump team say when you told them you just can't take over a nation? Did they appreciate that perspective? I don't want to say what we discussed in the closing meeting room, but I'd like to have hope for more mutual understanding. This is them pretty much saying they said no, or in my terms, fuck off. But obviously they didn't take that very well. Then I'm going to assume.
Can I just ask you about the emotion of this moment? What did the administration, what did Trump's team say to you when you presumably?
I've literally said what the reporter said, but it's the voice is just very, very low here.
Told them that you can't just take over a people, you can't just take over and acquire a nation. Was there any discussion about, did they appreciate that perspective, or for them is this simply about security?
I think that what we have been saying, that the meeting is been on a respect way, and we have shown where our limits are, and from there, I think that it would be very good to look forward, and this high level group that is going to work together. As I'm already saying, that it's all our interest to find the right path. It's all according to the security in Northern Hemisphere. So I don't want to say more than what we discussed in the closed meeting room, but I would like to have this. How do you say it in English? Hope for a more mutual understanding and trying to find the right balances is equally from all countries.
I think, yeah, you know what, they handle themselves. I think they're trying to be as diplomatic as they possibly can. They're not like, they're just trying. They just want to be left alone. They want to be able to just manage their, Greenland just wants to be able to manage by itself, and Denmark is there as its protector. They just want to be able to live their lives normally and at peace. You know, they don't want to get. They don't want this. The Greenlanders, the Greenlandic people, they don't want any of this. They don't want to be on the stage. They don't want to be the talk about. They don't want. You know, they just want to be able to live their lives like as they normally have. And all this attention that they're getting by America, by Trump, is really not helpful. It's just not helpful at all. France nurtured the child America to see them turn on the child as a massive rebuke of the child. Excuse me. That woman sounds incredibly nervous. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the conversations were not comfortable in any way, shape, or form for them, because to them, like they're talking to mad people. Okay, they're talking to mad people, talking to Vice President J.D. Vance, who can't stop thinking of couches, Marco Rubio, who's an absolute nutter. Like you're not talking to normal people. They're not normal politicians. These are nutheads that you're talking to here. And when they get told no, they start getting aggressive, especially with they'll start. I'm absolutely sure that they were quite aggressive with their language about it all. I don't need to be in the room to know that it wasn't very comfortable for them. It wasn't very comfortable for them at all. And but they have a duty to represent Greenland and its people, and that's what they did. And I can't imagine that the meeting was comfortable in any way, shape, or form, and neither will future meetings, because they're going to get told the same thing. Like, you can't have the land, but if you want to talk about security, we're more than happy to do more in terms of security. That's what they'll say. We'll look at any and all ways that we can improve security in terms of national security from America's perspective, as well from a NATO perspective as well. That's the point that they'll keep banging over and over and over again. But I wonder if behind closed doors, they're saying, are they actually being honest and saying, we actually just want your resources? I wonder if they're actually saying that behind closed doors to them. I don't think they are, but I imagine that's what they really want at the end of the day. She knows she is going to go back to her allies and say, we need to deploy troops now. And that's why she's like that. I think she'll probably say, look, if we don't put extra troops here, America will take it by force. This is quite interesting from yesterday here. Mike Johnson said invading Greenland is a media narrative that has been created, and it just hasn't come up in any briefings. So either someone is lying, or Mike Johnson's found out that they're briefing without him.
Yes. Do you think the president and his team at the White House should state explicitly that the concept of a military takeover of Greenland is off the table?
I don't think anybody is considering that. I mean, it's not been in any briefing I've been in, and I go to all of them. Okay, it's not. This is not a. I think this is a media narrative that's been created. I do. We've been very clear. I mean, the Article 1 branch is clear. There's no declaration of war pending for Greenland. It's not a thing. I don't anticipate any boots on the ground anywhere anytime soon. And I look.
This is the other thing as well. What they did in Venezuela, right? Yeah, it's not the same thing. Venezuela and Greenland are two very different things, and I think it's really that context is really, really important to understand, because they didn't put troops. Well, they did put special forces on the ground to kidnap Maduro. Don't use the word capture. It wasn't capture. It was kidnapping. Okay, let's call it exactly what it is. Don't use the narrative that the mainstream media are telling you about what happened in Venezuela. It was kidnapping. Okay. Yeah, they kidnapped a foreign leader, regardless of whether he was legitimately elected or not. Okay, he was kidnapped. What they did there, they used the justification of election rigging to justify regime change. Well, it's not even regime change, but to remove the president there. This is a completely different set of scenario here. And are they really going to ignore Congress, ignore Senate? Are they going to literally ignore all laws and just go in with troops and invade Greenland? Because, and this is where it comes up to the point where all the American generals and military and naval officers, everyone who works for the US military, they are going to know that if they get asked orders to surround Greenland or do anything towards Greenland, They know that is that's illegal orders, and you know it's illegal orders because any kind of declaration of war has to be approved by Congress. So, what are they going to do in that situation if it does go that far? We have to bear in mind it is a lot of Trump is using a lot of language as well. There's a lot of waffle from Donald Trump as well. Here, Mike reminds me of that minister of Saddam. Mike Johnson is a puppet, but he's somehow found a way to toe the line between keeping Trump happy and keeping Republicans on board. He is one of the snakeheads that are keeping that administration together. He is. Burdom on Greenland. President Trump is the greatest deal maker in the world. World leaders, they meet him, they like him, they've never met the premier of Greenland before. President Trump is absolutely right. Greenland needs to be in control of someone who is even stronger.
But Greenland's prime minister is refusing to turn over sovereignty. He said in a press conference yesterday, quote,
refusing to turn over sovereignty, even though they have their own sovereignty, okay?
we are now facing a geopolitical crisis. If we have to choose between the U.S. and Denmark here and now, we choose Denmark, NATO, and the European Union. Here's what happened when the president heard that. Watch this.
This is the Greenland Prime Minister, okay? That's what the Prime Minister of Greenland said.
On Greenland, sir, the Premier of Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. Do you see that as the final word? That? The Premier of Greenland.
If you said the Prime Minister of Greenland, that would make more logical sense. But but obviously, you know, I don't think he clocked that in.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him.
Yeah, that's because that's because you're not interested in the people who run Greenland. You're just interested in the land for yourself.
But that's going to be a big problem for him.
Secretary, what do you think the president is referring to?
Well, I think that the strategy here and the opportunity for building a relationship between the United States and Greenland is a strong one. And there's a great history of this, of presidents with leadership. I mean, Thomas Jefferson with the Louisiana Purchase, what we saw when Alaska was acquired. And again, I would remind people, the Interior Department is responsible for all of our affiliated states that we have around the world in the South Pacific and the Western Pacific, and our territories that we've got military bases like Guam, in the Pacific, U.S. Virgin Islands. I mean, 14 time zones span across Interior. And of course, Greenland, we need to remind people, think it's far away. It's closer to Washington, D.C. than Alaska is, certainly closer than Hawaii and any of the Pacific Islands that are affiliated with the United States, either as affiliated as states of their own independent or as U.S. territories with U.S. citizens. But I think there's a great opportunity here. I think President...
What opportunity is there apart from improving relations? Is it something to do with a certain resource instead?
Trump, the greatest deal maker in the world. World leaders meet him. They like him. He's never met the premier of Greenland before. It'll be interesting to see how these talks go today.
And we already know how the talks go today. Yeah, I wonder if I generally wonder this. I wonder what would happen if the president of the United States actually wanted to visit Greenland, and what would happen there. I generally wonder what would happen there. I generally would wonder what would happen there. I think it'd be interesting. I think is a good word to describe it, guys. I think it'd be very, very interesting. Guys, I did say I would only go about an hour here, but before I head out, I kind of want to leave us on a little bit of a more positive note, because I think we need some for all the doom and gloom that's happening in and around America, in particular Minnesota, and what ICE is doing. There is a speck of hope, a beacon of hope, a reminder that that governments can make a difference to people's lives. And obviously, New York City has a new mayor, and I've spoken about him before. We've talked about him before here, and stuff that, you know, I said, yeah, you know, we'll see how he does. You know, we'll see how much of action, of things that he does is going to be interesting over the next coming days, and obviously over this first year as mayor of New York, a lot of that will speak for itself. But It's been 14 days since he was officially became mayor of New York, and I just wanted to share one or two clips of one or two things he's been talking about, guys. This first one here about bad landlords in New York. Bad landlords are giving you a hard time, dubious fees, leaving your wallets light, ceiling leaking your landlords, and phoning us off the hook. Well, we'll be hosting a rental rip-offs hearing in our first 100 days in office. That's right. So people who are getting ripped off in New York with their rent hikes, this government is going to step in and help them.
Have you ever rented an apartment in New York only to find yourself not just paying rent, but application fees, amenity fees, credit score checks? In a city filled with old buildings that could use some tender loving care, some landlords are taking advantage of the housing market to gouge tenants with outrageous fees, all while leaving them trying to survive in homes with collapsing ceilings and sinking floors. It's time for that to change. We need a citywide crackdown on rental ripoffs. We need to take on the indignities from those landlords who demand more than their fair share. That's why our administration is organizing a series of rental ripoff hearings in every borough. This is a chance for you and your neighbors to speak directly with us about how you're getting ripped off. For the first time, our city is bringing this discussion directly to you. And it's only just the start. We're excited to share more information about these hearings soon. In the meantime, start taking notes so you can share with us how you're getting ripped off.
Going after the evil landlords. We talk about rip-off landlords in the UK, and here's Zoran Mandami taking the initiative already as mayor, going after landlords who are destroying American lives, ripping them off for overwhelming hikes in devastating homes, and it's a good start. So hopefully more of that will come along. This one here is one of the best policy announcements from Mayor Sondami here. Universal childcare in New York City, guys, is coming to them.
When I launched my campaign for mayor over a year ago, I made 3 promises to New Yorkers: freeze the rent for rent-stabilized tenants, make buses fast and free, and deliver universal childcare. Some said these goals were impossible, unrealistic, naive. Well, yesterday our movement won a historic victory for working families across the city. On day 8 of our administration, we announced the beginning of universal childcare for all New Yorkers.
Ladies and gentlemen, our mayor.
Yesterday in Flatbush, I stood alongside Governor Kathy Hochul to announce a $1.2 billion commitment in state funding for universal childcare. As the governor said, the days of empty promises are over. This investment will allow us to make childcare for 3-year-olds truly universal in New York City by adding more seats in neighborhoods where families have been shut out for far too long. It will allow us to start providing universal childcare to 2-year-olds, delivering it to all of them by the end of our first term. At the end of the year, thousands of parents will look at their bank accounts and see that they have now saved more than $20,000 per child.
That's massive. $20,000. That's a huge difference in their income there.
That is real relief. It is real change. And it is a testament to government's ability to make people's lives better. I want to be very clear. Working class New Yorkers delivered this victory. We are here today because of the millions of doors that you knocked, the phone calls you made, the canvases you showed up for in the freezing cold and sweltering heat, each time making the case to your neighbors that a better future is possible. This is a movement that was brave enough to make a promise, and even braver to know it could fulfill it. No longer will New Yorkers be forced to accept that starting a family means leaving the city you love. Every political victory is a choice, and yesterday, Governor Hochul and I made the choice to deliver for working families and children. The work has only just begun. There is so much more to do to deliver truly universal childcare for every family, every child, and every New Yorker we serve. But never let anyone tell you that progress needs to be slow.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Already in these first 10 bloody days. It's insane. It's great stuff, you know, laying the groundwork already for the future here. And I just wanted to share this, this one he dropped for a couple of hours ago today here as well on this the universal childcare. I like this clip here. I wanted to share this one because I'm sorry guys, I like this man, I really do. But I'm also at the same time keeping my expectations too low. Like, I'm not over it. Like, everything I'm hearing is so positive right now coming out of this guy. And in actual fact, since he's been in office, I've actually heard that he's actually polling has increased, which is not supposed to happen when you get into office. But we'll have to wait and see. But here's the last video for you guys tonight.
Good morning, New York. It's a great day to learn, no matter your age. Last week, we announced we won more than $100 million in new funding to make 3K truly universal. And today is a great day to sign up.
If your child is turning either 3 or 4 this year, you can enroll them for the fall in 3 easy ways. First, you can go to myschools.nyc. That's the easiest way to apply.
Second, you can also call this number and apply on the phone.
Finally, you can visit one of our NYC Schools Family Welcome Centers to apply in person.
Don't let this application window slip by. You have until February 27th to sign up. Because the building blocks for your children's future begin with universal pre-K and 3K.
I love that he's using a preschool to promote this as well. That's such good advertisement. It's so bloody good. It's so good, guys. This is so good. I love this. I love this stuff. I really do. I really, really do. You know, again, it's just a showcase of just proof of what happens when you just allow people. If you just actually govern, you can make a difference to people's lives here. You really, really can. Should I play this video? Yeah. We need to remind ourselves, guys, as evil and as thuggery and as angry ICE are. Remember, guys, Mother Nature is not on ICE's side.
My tax money, please! Go! Enough! Enough! My tax money, please! Go!
I will never let this clip go, ever. And you shouldn't either, guys. Always remember, Mother Nature is not on ICE's side. Not even ICE is on ICE's side. I had to share that one with you guys. To see ourselves out. Guys, thank you all for coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Apologies, it's a bit shorter than usual. Like I said, I've got a migraine. I'm not 100% right now, and I'm trying to do a lot at the moment. So I'm kind of just going to take the rest of the evening off a bit easier here. But I appreciate you guys coming along for tonight. Quick reminder before I go tomorrow evening, myself, Dave McGuinness, our lovely friend Dave McGuinness, who's in the chat, will be joining myself, Daily Blase, and Graham Price of Power to the People tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for our first roundtable of 2026. I'm so happy to have our good friend Dave McGuinness on again, as well as Daily Blase and Graham Price. They're all wonderful people, guys. If you're not subscribed to their YouTube channels, do check out their YouTube channels. They absolutely do great, wonderful work. If you're from Scotland, if you're not a subscriber to Two Davies, I don't know what you're doing. I can't recommend it enough. If you guys want to know what happened with the Scottish budget that came out, Dave McGuinness will give a breakdown of that tomorrow at 4 o'clock on his live stream. On the live stream there on the Two Davies, so do check that out. But obviously before that, he'll have a show at 10:30 tomorrow morning as well. So do check that out there. And they'll be live with another Good Morning Show at 11 a.m. as normal there. Doc Davis says Max Robespierre is live. Is he? Guys, yeah, guys, if you want to go and head over to Max Robespierre and say that I sent you guys there, it'd be greatly appreciated. If someone could put a link to Max's live stream, that'd be greatly appreciated, because I don't know how to send people over to another YouTube channel. I don't know how to do that, guys, because if I could, I would do that, guys. Yeah, go over to Max Robespierre's live stream if he's live right now. Give him some love from me. Bombard his channel saying you all came from Reganelite. It'd be very much appreciated. But thank you guys for all coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. If you want to leave buy me a coffee or join Patreon, you can do so as well. The financial support me would be greatly appreciated as well. Links for all my stuff is down below. On your way out, if you can, hit the like button, share, subscribe, And thank you all so much for watching. And I hope... Oh, God. Don't worry. I'm going to drink some water in a moment. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon.